So we are coming up on time. I want to make sure we have a chance to share the poll results, but I also have some key takeaways. And because of time, you got to keep this to a minute or less. And you can't say pass, by the way. That's not how this game is played. So my first question, Rachel, is key piece of advice. If you had 3 pieces of advice to people who are starting out to build out their program or their partner leveling program in today's ecosystem, what would your top 3 items? What would your top 3 items be?
I would say the first one is keep it simple, right? Keep it simple for the partners and keep it simple for yourselves to manage. The second one is automate. Invest in automation, invest in tools, invest in the right systems that are going to help you with this because like Lana said, it makes decision making so much easier, days instead of months. And then the third one is, make sure that you get partner input in designing what you're doing because in the end, it's got to work for them.
Thank you. And that was definitely a minute or less. That was great. Lana, you're up next. No pressure here. What would you say in hindsight, right? So you have the benefit of the rearview mirror. In hindsight, what were the top 3 things that you were able to execute and do for your ecosystem that has made you successful?
I'm going to harp on the points again and the ability to be flexible with the program. Things have changed so rapidly over the years. So flexibility is critical. The successful program, JD, it has been critical to have a platform and an ability for our partners to have visibility into their performance. And again, just that access into it. So having the ability to not only be flexible in the approach of where we give people recognition and requirements and rewards, but also in the global approach with those regional variances. And then of course, having the ability to show partners how they're doing on a regular basis. And that engagement has been critical. I echo everything Rachel said in terms of top areas to focus. So globbing on to that response as well.
Thank you. Outstanding. Kenneth, your piece of advice to program owners to maximize their program engagement.
Yeah, again, it's at the end of the day, most vendors use the channel to generate revenue. So if we focus on revenue, then we have to focus on competitive advantage, which takes us back to ease of doing business. So to win or to be competitive or create competitive advantage for ourselves, ultimately, we need to make it easy for our partners to work with us. That's it.
Outstanding. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for participating in our panel today. Everyone who's stayed with us through the presentation, appreciate that. Brenda, you have some poll results to see, and I think we're all interested in these.
Okay, I certainly do. So the first poll then was, does your organization have a partner leveling program? So as you can see, 41% said yes, and 45% don't currently have it, but they're definitely looking at implementing one. So we really hope that the information you got today from the panel helped with that. So I'll just go to the next one then. So then for those offering a partner leveling program, has it improved partner engagement? So I was a little bit surprised at this one. Anybody want to give a little bit of input or talk through it a little bit?
Yeah, it's a very binary thing here, but it's hard to tell. Like, the yes, absolutely, have obviously done a good job on it. The ones that haven't seen any real difference, you'd have to look at it a little bit closer. Did they get partner engagement? Was it too difficult? Was the program too complex, etc.? There's so much there. Any vendor I've ever worked with, and that's a lot of vendors at this stage, the ones that done a good job on their program, it absolutely made a difference to their partners. So it's all about, it comes back to what Rachel and Lana talked about, making it easy. And I know it's that can be difficult. Making the complex easy is always a challenge.
Yeah, and if I could, Brenda, I would go even back to that first one. You don't have to go back to it, but just the fact that roughly half are using it, the other half aren't, and the ones in between say it doesn't fit their model. The way the economy is driving, that's a lot of opportunity for channel leaders and channel organizations to have significant impact to the health of their business. As you look at the customer journey, as we talked about, people work with their partners and people who live in their neighborhoods and or their communities, and those channel partners are huge in that.
Okay, thanks for that, JD. So next one then, for those offering a partner leveling program, how many requirements are included in the program? So 3 to 4 was the most popular one with 35%. Is that kind of what you would see, Kenneth?
Yeah, a lot of times it used to be 2. It's definitely now, somewhere from 3 to 5, what I'd say would be the majority at this stage, because now they're starting to take in extra levers for SaaS, basically. So we often see them, I've seen outliers up to 7, but generally somewhere between 3 and 5 are pretty good programs.
Okay, thank you. Next one then, what were the most challenging aspects of implementing a partner leveling program? So all pretty similar percentages there, so I think people feel the same pain.
That reminds me of, Rachel scratching her head there a while ago saying they nearly killed themselves trying to come up with the program. But this is classic. Like, this is because you have to think of all these things. And, this is what everything is so important to everybody. It's hard to, that's why I think, Rachel, you said you landed on dealing with 80% of it and doing a good job on that. So
80 to 90, yeah. I mean, it's all of the above, right? Like you have to consider all of these elements, and then just depending on your business, what is the more important? We're very regionally focused, so we did allow a lot of emphasis for regional input.
I wonder if the 26% that said they don't run a leveling program took all the other pain points into consideration and just decided no.
just tough, yeah.
Okay, and then the last poll was, for those with a partner leveling program, do you incorporate this data into your partner QBRs? So sometimes it was the most popular answer there with 45% just for their top partners. Any kind of reason why you would see that? Anyone on the panel?
I think this comes down to, automation. Honestly, I do. It's because people always grab at the 80-20 or 90-10 rule. Even we see, the top 10 or 20% of partners bring the most of the revenue to the table. So obviously they get the key focus. But, if you have a platform approach in place, you can start to treat other partners equally by self-serve. Basically, now they can see what they're doing. They can see where they're at. So, of course, the top guys are always going to get the top attention in terms of QBRs, etc. But there is, the tools will ultimately let you cover more ground.
Absolutely.
Rachel, Lana, I'd be interested in your thoughts on this one.
100%. It is, gathering that data is difficult if you don't have that dashboard and that view. And certainly for us, it's been critical, and it's helped us reach further down into our partner community and extend beyond those strategic partners, having the ability to have that dashboard, even quite frankly, just pointing partners to that. If it's not a single personal touch with a quarterly business review, it is a quarterly checkpoint and touch point for our partners. That dashboard view is critical. It's been very successful for us.
Okay, thanks, Lana. So I know we have gone over time, so our apologies for that. If the panel are still available, maybe for another minute or two, or we have a couple of questions that I might put to you.
Let's try for 3 at least, Brenda, and then we'll obviously give people back. So.
Okay, perfect. So first one up is from Claire, and Claire says, beyond revenue, how has the panel succeeded in motivating partners to become a champion of their brand in the noise of a competitive vendor landscape?
I'll take that one. For us, enablement is the new currency, right? So the more we enable them, the more we train them, the more we wrap our arms around them and help them be successful with our product, the more loyal they're going to be. We start our plan, our goal, our vision, and what we're doing and being successful with is building those evangelists, right? Building those individual SEs at the partner, that love our product, the fanboys, right? Building that. And so that's, through a lot of the enablement that we do. We have a very robust pre-sales enablement program, technical and sales, and just letting people know, A, if you show them the money, and B, if you make it easy for them, as far as, helping them be successful, I think that's really key.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. Next one then is from, I think it's Sander. Apologies if I've pronounced that incorrectly. And they ask, how do you decide which requirements to put in the legal terms and conditions of programs versus incentives to drive compliance or increased competency? So how do you...
certainly as we consider requirements and considering just the overall compliance, understanding your business and what is the most strategic aligned with your organization is critical. Kenneth mentioned the program guides. Including a program guide, yes, they're robust, yes, they're long, but that is where we put the bulk of the terms and conditions. That's where we address the need for compliance. Now, that may or may not be read by 100% of the partners, but it's there to help ensure that there is transparency and alignment with the partner or the community. So for us, it certainly is critical to understand the strategic needs of the business. Obviously, regulatory and compliance has to be carefully considered, which is certainly why we have a program guide to document and capture that.
Okay.
We actually did a little more bifurcated approach where we took our terms and conditions, the legalese, and we put it in one document that then referred out to an incentive and referrals program, an MDF program, different programs that had separate kind of sub-program guides. And what that does, it means that a partner is bound by the terms and conditions and the compliance regulations, but that we have different levers to pull and kind of at will can make changes. If we find out the net new logo promotion isn't driving business, we can change that incentive. And our T's and C's allow us to do that.
We use a approach.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've even seen people doing an overall program requirement. So you assign your overall T's and C's at engagement, and then doing literally at an individual program level, T's and C's per program, which I personally think works really well because you can take programs come and go all the time, and you're not going back doing a big contract every single time. Okay.
It does give you that flexibility to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and I'll throw one final one in. This one is from Marco, and Marco says, can you give some guidance on what one can do to accommodate a partner who operates in different partner types?
Rachel, you spoke to that a little bit. Do you want to?
Yeah.
I did, yeah. I was trying not to answer all the questions, but it really comes down to the points. So we went with a points-based system, and I think, Kenneth, you can probably speak to this, right? So you know what, if they are different partner types, they're going to earn different points for each of those, and that makes them that much more valuable to us. If they both OEM and they co-sell, and then, oh, by the way, they influence sometimes. So we give them points for the different routes to market or the activities that they bring to the table. And I think that point system, like Lana mentioned earlier, just gives you such flexibility.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I've often heard that question, people often struggle with that, the same partner doing the different sales motions, which falls into, the different partner types, if you like. How do they, like I hear people saying, oh, well, do they not have to tell you at the start of the particular cycle what they're doing, which motion you don't, you can actually figure it out by, again, using automation to just track which motion they're doing and allocating points or rewards appropriately. Okay, so I think we said we've ran way over, so apologies to the panel and the audience for taking a little bit longer, but it was really good conversation. So from my perspective, just want to thank the guys for doing a great job. Love listening to some nuggets and never failed to learn something off you guys. So thanks very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.